This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is October 17th, 2018, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, starting out at 10:30 South African time, out of United Kingdom, yearly CPI number coming out. Now, that's an important number coming out. It is an inflationary number, so be aware of it. And then later today, throughout the day, European Union will have an economic summit. Namely, it's a yearly summit that happens. So, it is important, especially since some of the countries in Europe are doing very well, like Germany, and some countries are not doing so well, like Italy. So it's an interesting mix of a bag in Europe, and we'll take a look at that as well. And then later this evening, FOMC had a rate decision a few weeks ago. And so this is the meeting minutes. This is a follow-up to that rate decision. It's an important event, but I don't think it's going to shake or break the markets that much. It may, just because, a little bit of a spat between, guess who, President Trump and the FOMC. So, that is actually in the news light right now. So it might actually bear some light as to the direction of the market, especially since, the US is increasing interest rates in the first time in over a decade. So that's really an important event. So just be aware of it. Now, I want to bring a few points. We had the Dow sell off tremendously last week, okay, and today yesterday really was the correction of it, okay, the bounce, okay, as usually happens as after these major sell-offs. So the Dow, the Nasdaq, the DAX all rallied big yesterday. We're going to take a look at that and what we could expect from today. Turkish lira continues to strengthen, and remember, we had this on our site over the weekend as the American pastor was released, and we'll take a look at that. Also, gold retraces, obviously, fake out, breakout. And then, as you remember, yesterday we mentioned that. And then the Euro GBP retrace, we'll take a look at that. Stocks obviously stronger since the indices are stronger. Facebook, Tesla, Amazon, etc. all rally big. The question is whether or not this is a short squeeze or this is really a rally, okay, or a correctional move. So we'll take a look at that and let's see what's been happening. So we're taking a look here at the Euro USD, obviously, and we're looking at this double top we had at 116-ish level, and we're trading right now at 115. So, between these two areas, I think that this is really a range that we may continue to trade in, okay? If we don't break this 115.43-ish level, I think we'll continue to trade this level. However, okay, considering that we're, after a massive sell-off, okay, the range may be a little bit larger. It could be between 116 and 115-ish level, 114.90-ish level, let's say. Okay, so that actually may happen today. So just be aware of that as this continues to trade later today. Now, looking at the GBP, we had a decent sell-off yesterday, and this is going into a number that we had the sell-off, okay? So this may rally later today. We're at a previous resistance, at a previous support then. So this actually may rally today at this 131.71-ish level, but be aware of it that this number is really important. That's coming out at 10:30 later this morning. So just be aware of that. Now the Aussie USD quite quiet, okay, nothing really jumping, in either direction here. We sold off a little bit, but nothing really to write home about, okay? So this is still, if you look at a daily chart, still recovering from its massive sell-off that we had earlier in the year. You could say that this is just a bounce, okay? It could still further decline, so that's something to consider as we continue trading this currency moving into the latter part of the year. Now, looking at the USD Turkish lira, as I mentioned, it's getting a little bit stronger, okay? Only, a few pips here, a few pips there, but every so often you see a correctional move on the downside, and we may still see it correct bound to the low 5-ish level. Okay, so it's at 568. Still needs to break 550 in order to do that, but just be aware that it's continuously making this correction on the downside. So if you have it long, just be careful. You might want to reconsider at these levels. Okay, jumping into the commodities. Now this is really something to make note about. Gold. Okay, now gold had this massive rally the other day, also in response, and it was like a little bit after the fact, okay, after the Dow Jones debacle and the indices sold off, and this happened a few days later. Okay, so inflationary reasons or other reasons of mutual funds actually putting some money into gold, so it's retracing right now. Okay, a balance of a support level I would say is 120-ish level. Okay, so if it does break this 120, 114-ish level, it could definitely consider, sliding down further. Okay, it could be just taking a break. Okay, in which case, we could see a further reactionary move on the upside. Just be aware that there's a little bit of a resistance here at 1240-ish level. Let's, highlight that right now. So we have that for the next time. 1240-ish level is the next resistance level. So just be aware of that. It may just trade between these two areas. Okay, right now it's trading at 1222. So as that continues. Now looking at the Dow Jones, can't, hide the fact that we had this massive rally yesterday, about 700 points on the upside, trading at 25,740-ish level right there. We consolidated at the 25,000 level, which I thought would be the case, but it's a little bit hard to pick your bottoms, okay, especially after you sold off 2,000 points. Now, the question is whether or not this is going to be just a retaliatory move, and are we going to get back to somewhere around this area, 26,300-ish level, or this is a dead cat bounce. Okay, now the real way to analyze this is to use volume, okay, to add volume into your charts to see whether or not this buying is really quantifiable. The only way really to do it is to, in hindsight 2020, okay, if we do continue this rally today, now you got to look for different signals. Are the stocks going up higher? Is the index going up higher before the stocks? You have to play who's the leading indicator here in moving the market higher. Now, looking at the DAX earlier this morning, we're up big, okay, 11,795, okay. Next resistance level, 11,900-ish level. So just be aware of that, okay. This may be a short squeeze, and you just have to really keep your finger on the pulse to see if it does retrace and we do have a reversal on the downside, okay. Sometimes that is the case, as we had it back here. If we look at a weekly chart, we had a massive sell-off back in February, and then we had a move right up, okay? So the question is this move right up just a short bounce, okay? And then we're going to go further down, or is it going to continue, its slide upwards? So that's the real big question right now, okay? And the way you answer that is just really keeping an eye on this. The only way really to keep an eye on that is to just keep yourself on the ball to see what the stocks are doing. So jumping into the stocks, if we look at Facebook, big rally yesterday from 152, 150-ish level to 158. Okay, we had mentioned this earlier that it looked like it was making this double bottom, and it did at 150, and boom, it busted that on the upside. So, I think that since the stocks are hitting certain support levels and they're bouncing off of it, I think that that's the case going to be for the Dow Jones as well. Amazon looking at it as well, rallying to 1800, back above the 1800-ish level from below 1690-ish level. Okay, so that's a decent rally there, as well as Tesla. Okay, Tesla bouncing to 276-ish level, so that's also a big rally. Now, I would expect some sort of continued buying here. All right, and that's what I've been looking for. Lastly, looking at Apple, same story, 222. We like that 222 number. This is creating a little bit of a resistance here at 222. It does need to break out on it and continue this massive buyout. So just be aware that, for this rally to be sustainable, you have to see continued growth on the upside. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.